From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Welcome into Friday Night Football. I'm Jordan Smith. Austin Parr joining me. Man, what a night of high school football.
Hey, we got to give ourselves a pat on the back because we drove all over the place to provide these highlights for you. And starting with our game of the night, how about the defending champs Rigby taking on Bishop Kelly? Both teams undefeated, looking to stay that way. Let's pick it up in the second half. Trojans down 15-7, not for long. Kiwi Kofe punches it in, 2-point conversion, good. Tie ball game. Later in the third, Trojans looking to add to it. Pass is picked off, though. The Knights' Jared Thiel. Remember that name for later. It would lead to this. Watch this catch. The bobble, then he comes up with it. Was it a catch? Boston Husky? Refs think so. Knights pull ahead there. We're going to take one more look at it because we got to slow this down for you.
Oh, look at the tiptoe. I give it to him. I don't even care. That is a catch in the Jordan Smith book.
Unbelievable catch there by Boston Husky. Rigby, one last chance on third down. Hucks it up. There he is. The name we told you to remember, Thiel, game-sealing interception. Knights, 29-15.
Wow. Impressive work by the Knights, upending the defending state champs. Over to Centennial High School. The Patriots playing host to the Eagle Mustangs. Centennial hasn't beaten Eagle since 2009. That was before I was in high school. So
I graduated high school that year.
Wow. So it's been a minute, a little bit. And Eagles are going to show them why they are so tough to bring down. Look at this run by Noah Burnham on the halfback toss. Turns on the Jets, screaming down the sidelines. And they're going to test his speed to the other side. Look at the misdirection here. They feed Burnham again. And he's off to the end zone for his second touchdown.
Maybe they would say he's burning up some turf.
He's burning up some turf. Well set. See, that's why you're here. And the Patriots, man, they try to get something going. Look at that hit stick, though. That's the senior linebacker, Anthony Butler, making him pay. And it would just get worse from there for the Patriots. Look at that dot across the middle. That's Aiden Kendrick, who carries it into the end zone. That puts Eagle up 21-0. That would be kind of the story of the night. The Mustangs, they win big at Centennial, 42 to, that should say 14. That extends their win streak to 15 straight games over the Patriots. Man, those guys are tough to beat. I know. Yeah, I tried to represent. I wore the crimson, the gray, but it wasn't the lucky charm tonight.
Wasn't happening for him. Wasn't in the cards.
Wasn't in the cards. Not yet. You know, Centennial trying to rebuild, but Eagle, man, they were in the state championship against Rigby last year. That's still a super talented team. A lot to be excited about for those guys this year.
Yeah, still undefeated. Bishop Kelly, Rigby. I mean, so many talented schools just out there making a name for themselves to start the season.
And there's some other powerhouses in action tonight. Mountain View and Rocky. The Battle of the Mountains. I don't even know if they call it that. That's what I'm calling it. Rocky's up 21-7 at the half.
You're right.
I think that sounded right. I think I saw a sign. This is Henry Nelson trying to make something work. And then the ball comes loose here as he's wrangled from behind. Rocky pounces all over it. And that sets up Kalen Custer, the QB power. Look at him power himself across the goal line there. He looks up. It's all good. That's another 6 for Rocky. That puts him up 28-7. King me. And that Henry Nelson, he's going to try to find some answer here. He does in Brody Munson. Look at that throw. I can't get over how impressive that is. But it gets called back for holding. That sets up 4th and 25. Nothing going right for Mountain View. Can they do something here? That defensive line is going to be in Mountain View's nightmares tonight. That was the story of the evening. Rocky, they hang on. They win 31-21. They win the Battle of the Mountains at home before a raucous home crowd.
Hey, you know another team that's kind of become a powerhouse over the last couple of years? How about Timberline?
Oh, let's go.
Still undefeated on the season. The Wolves taking on the Boise Braves. Look at that student section. Well, the one previous to that had all the energy. Boise is winners of the last 3 matchups between these two. Hey, not a lot of offense going for these squads. Defense is slugging it out for 4th down here. Wolves up 7, looking to add to their lead. Over the middle there. I believe Wolves were up 7, right? Right there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
QB
right.
Jack Brandt tests a single coverage in the end zone, but hey, the defense was airtight. Wolves would turn it over there, but later on, Tyler Schofield finds Cade Summerfield in the back of the end zone for the score. Timberline would pull ahead in the fourth quarter. They go on to win 20-13. If you didn't see my feature earlier on this week, Hudson Lewis, head to our website, ktvb.com/sports. But hey, Timberline undefeated on the season.
Well, a lot of that is to do with Hudson Lewis. I mean, you mentioned it. And if you weren't familiar with that story, I mean, wide receiver commit to Washington State University. You can do a lot of things on offense when you've got a weapon like that.
You can't teach speed.
Yeah.
I never had it.
Yep.
He's got it. Thank goodness. I wish I was that fast.
Yeah, I know it. Well, and Timberline looking good, 3-0. And again, they snapped that 3-game losing streak to the Boise Brave, and that's got to feel good. Beating your rival like that on the road. We had some other great games here tonight, though. How about we send things down to the good old Owyhee and Meridian matchup. Owyhee looking to stay undefeated. This is Colin Foy who's going to get the ball to Ellis Stanley. He's going to run this in for the touchdown. Owyhee played from behind most of this game, but they would battle back. This is Logan Hostovic, fakes the handoff and then takes it himself. Takes a bruising on the way into the end zone, but he hangs on, and he'll take that 7 ways to Sunday. Later on, this is Meridian. This is Easton Nungray. He's going to throw a dot over to Dason Bolts, who gallops into the end zone. They thought that might be kind of the gut punch to put Owyhee away, but the stormed back. They wound up stealing one on the road, 27-24. Meridian still looking for that first win.
Hey, how about Bora taking on Capital? Battle of the helmets. Check those out. The chrome helmets, super sweet, and those Eagle helmets as well. Hey, but it's the Eagles. Soaring early. Quincy Clay takes it off the end around. How about a little Reggie Bush? Opposite end for the touchdown. And hey, you're going to hear that name again. He showed off his speed. 7-0 in a blink for Capital. Bora's next possession, trying to get the punt off. Snap goes over the head.
Oh, man.
Tough one for Bora. Capital ends up falling on it. And before you even know it, it's 14-0. Clay would find the end zone. Again, the student section brought it tonight. Hey, 55-7, the Eagles soaring high.
Yeah, you know, they've had a couple of tough seasons, a little bit of up and down, but to see the offense just go all cylinders and just 55 points in that kind of a game, I mean, that's got to feel really good, building that confidence for that team.
I think also what's really cool is they play in almost the middle of downtown. I think that's like a cool element to
over
be
at
able
Donald
to play.
Larson, yeah.
Yeah, right by Boise State. I mean, how incredible is that to get a victory like that on that field? Just incredible.
Now, I want to ask
incredible
you,
start for them.
I want to ask you about this because this is something we were talking about. Is the uniform game for every team nowadays is unbelievable, especially the helmets.
It's got to start with the helmets, right? I mean, I think we were looking at highlights from last year too, and the helmets in the state championship game were unbelievable. Are we, Nike and Oregon? Is that kind of the vibes that we're getting now?
I saw Rocky had the purple chrome helmet. I'm like, where was this when I was in high school?
Right?
Like, we had the hand-me-down helmets from like 6 years earlier, it seemed like.
It was like for us, Thousand Oaks, it was like the green with the black, or maybe the white with the green, and then just TO stickers. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on my high school. I'm just saying the creativity might not have been there many years ago because I'm pretty old.
Well, well, these teams, with that talent, they get rewarded with some sweet jerseys. And Nampa Christian, Coal Valley, they've got a couple of sweet uniforms themselves. There's a great matchup there at the 4A level. And we're going to show you this one. This is Pete Dice running it in for himself across the goal line there.
Dice is up the defense.
Dice is up the defense. Well said. Coal Valley trying to get back into it, but he finds the wrong color jersey. That's Dylan O'Brien. This is a defender's dream. He's breaking tackles, making moves, running like a madman all over the field, and he's going to remember this one. That's 80 yards to the house for a pick six.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
I need to say something about that. Shout out to the entire team running all the way down with him on the picks. There was guys 60 yards down the field hitting blocks for him to make sure he could find the end zone.
Trying to make that play for him.
Yeah, that's what you call a true team touchdown right there.
That's what it takes to be a championship team. You got to be in it for the team, not just the individual. You saw the wave of blockers. That was sweet.
When you see an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman running that much all the way down the field, you can tell they've got a good thing going over there.
That's right, and it paid dividends, 35-3, that final score. We'll take things out to Emmett, taking on Ridgeview, and
those uniforms.
How about that?
Is that Texas?
Is that Texas? Yeah, everybody seems to be rocking the uniform game. That's going to be a touchdown off the right side of the field. And it was going to be kind of a slugfest between these two schools. We got these highlights back late in the game. It was a close finish between these two squads. Emmett hangs on to win this. The Huskies 27-26, and they hand Ridgeview that first loss of the season there.
That's just a tough one to lose. You never want to lose games like that. It's kind of the same with the Rigby Bishop Kelly. Certain wins can kind of set the tone for the season, so we'll definitely look forward to see how these teams kind of bounce back when they have maybe these, early bigger losses when they're facing tough teams.
Well, and it was nice, too. I mean, we saw a bunch of those blowouts. How about a one-point game? I mean, a nail-biter here in the Treasure Valley. Fans love to see that. Those, 55-7 is great. Kind of a snooze fest after a while, right? So
think about that Bishop Kelly game really quick. For those of you that weren't there, this is kind of what happened. So Bishop Kelly had turned the ball over on downs, and I was texting you this because you asked about the score, right? They turned the ball over on downs with a chance to kind of put the game away. Rigby gets the ball back. They have a big swing pass that goes for 60-plus yards down the field. They have third and fourth and goal, can't get in the end zone. Turnover on downs right there. That's a chance to kind of turn this whole game around, and then the Knights just kind of put it away from there. But it's literally a game of inches, and if they get certain plays, maybe that game would have looked a lot different. Obviously, Boston Husky had the one of the greatest catches we've seen probably all season so far.
That's right. Well, and we'll have another closer look at that for our top plays here tonight. In the meantime, let's just give you a look at the 6A scoreboard just to recap some of these. Again, Rocky Mountain View 31-21. Rocky wins that one. And we were talking a little bit about this. We didn't get a chance to make it out there. That Cuna-Middleton game. Middleton staging off the Cavemen at home 28-14. And then the rest of those games kind of blowouts outside of, well, I shouldn't even say that. I was just looking at Capital and Eagle on the right side of the screen there. But a lot of good games here at the 6A level. 5A, a little bit different story.
Yeah, I mean, lots of blowouts, right? I mean, Gooding Caldwell 43-6. I think the best game on this whole entire list was that Canyon Ridge Mountain home game, 14-7. I mean, a little bit of a low-scoring game, but
right.
Hey, there's a lot of people that like defensive battles. Defense wins championships. Right? We still believe in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and Minico dropping a 60-piece on Jerome. Talk about a lack of defense out there.
Could you eat a 60-piece?
I don't think I could eat a 60-piece. I'm too small for that. That's a job for somebody like you, and a little bit 4 inches taller than me.
We can split it.
We could split that.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Hey,
Emmett and Ridgeview, what a game.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely. Skyview, Valley View, again, another Nampa Classic. Couldn't make it out there, 26-6. Valley View hanging on. Now, we did talk a little bit about the plays of the night that we had to offer here. 3 really good ones, I think, Austin.
Oh, absolutely. Something we just kind of came up with, and we're going to continue to do as we go through these Friday night footballs every single week. Let's start the countdown at number 3. It was the first game I was at. The Capital Eagles. Quincy Clay, he's going to take an end around. We said it earlier. Reggie Bush reversed the field, breaks the tackles. He kind of got things going.
Look at that celebration.
Yeah, for the Eagles. I mean, fly, Eagles, fly, right?
Fly, Eagles, fly. Man, that guy is hype. And again, speed, you can't teach that.
Let's slow it down. Watch the tackle, stays in bounds here. And hey, I see a hole.
Look
on
at
the other
62
side.
up the field, though. Just trying to, or 52, excuse me, trying to make a play for his wide out there. That is awesome. Play number 2, that was a game I was at. Eagle quarterback Austin Ramsey.
This is impressive.
Watch this. You don't see this often from a quarterback. Just lowers the boom over the defenseman, and then he takes another hit. He says, I want all of this. He's eaten all those hits. Will not go down. He just says, get off me, and just powers his way through. You love to see that from your quarterback.
I am a Steeler fan, and that is Ben Roethlisberger-esque. Throw it back to Big Ben. You definitely, like you said, don't see quarterbacks doing that. That's right on the thumbstick.
That's
when
right.
You're playing
right up,
2K.
I think.
Yeah, NCAA. Right?
Drop the hit stick.
Hit stick. That's impressive.
That is super exciting. He can also throw the ball well. We saw that all night as well. Shout out to these guys. They can beat you pretty much quarterback, wide receiver, running back. That offense loaded.
Hey, but the play of the night, come on. Who else? Who else? Bishop Kelly's. There it is. Boston Husky. The bobble, but the athleticism to keep his left foot in while he has possession. Such a tough call for high school refs. Watch this. Slow it down.
Amazing.
Keeps the foot in. I asked all the camera guys that were surrounding there, said touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. They were like, we don't know, but we're going to call it a touchdown.
Absolutely. And even if it wasn't, that's still number 1 on my book. That is an amazing catch. And how about that throw? Right where only his man could get that back corner of the end zone. That is a tough throw.
Absolute dart from the quarterback there. ends up being the game-winning touchdown because Rigby's last chance picked off by the Knights.
Yeah.
Pretty big game down there. And the atmosphere, that was electric.
There was a lot of those tonight. The student section showing out. I want to give a tip of the cap to Rocky. I mean, those guys were loud. They forced a lot of third downs out there. They forced a lot of turnovers. It was tough. Just being on the sideline, I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels like a college atmosphere right now. So
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I don't even remember my student section if it was that good, to be honest.
Yeah, not everyone at the basketball games, maybe football.
Basketball games. That's where we really jumped in because I played football. And then I played baseball as well. But basketball games, my favorite is when they're introducing the away teams, and you just got the newspapers, old school.
Oh,
basically,
I love
you're
that.
Basically, the whole student section has newspapers because it's basically stating like, hey, we don't know you.
That's right.
We don't care.
Right. Yeah, we've got places we'd rather be. We didn't really have much of that when I was at Centennial, but it was always just like, even if your team's down, that was kind of the cool thing about the Treasure Valley. Even if it wasn't a strong season, the students showing out, it was always just such a cool thing, supporting the school, being there in the stands, at least for most of the game before taking off. That's something that you love to see, especially with these local sports here. So
I'm going to do this for you. Since you are our expert here.
Okay.
Okay, you are from here, right? Went to Centennial. I am still learning, obviously, but we're going to go biggest takeaway for Mr. Jordan of the high school football season. Who's surprising you so far? Who looks the best in your mind? Just go ahead.
I got to tell you, I think
the mic is yours.
The mic is not. I got to tell you, I think after seeing all of these highlights and covering the last 3 weeks, Rocky has really blown me away this season. Those guys play tough. They play really stingy defense. That defensive line is going to wreak havoc all season long on quarterbacks. You're going to have 2 seconds, maybe 3 to make a decision, and they are going to be right in your face. And that was the thing that was the big takeaway. Mountain View is a really good school.
Right.
We know them to be kind of an offensive powerhouse and juggernaut. Those two teams, it's always a great battle between them. But that defense, man, they looked a little scary.
Hopefully, if maybe they're building now of what kind of helmets they're going to have down the road, because we saw those earlier. Those were
the purple chrome domes.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Now, how about you? You got to see the defending state champs walk into town with, I think it was a 13 or 14 game win streak against BK, who got throttled by them last year, and they really flipped the switch.
It's Friday, and I'm not going to have this be an overreaction kind of Friday. We're only a couple games into the season. I think Rigby will be just fine based off of what I saw, kind of the eye test, right? There was a couple of times they had an opportunity to take over that football game and just didn't quite make that extra play or didn't protect the quarterback long enough to have him make those plays. But, hey, Bishop Kelly, they look really strong as well. Their defense looks great. They made big plays when it mattered. And obviously they have 2 really studly wide receivers that I was just introduced to tonight. So Bishop Kelly looks great, but shout out Timberline.
Yeah.
Shout out Timberline.
We do a lot of talking about the Meridian schools, how good they can be. It's been a while since we've really had a powerhouse come out of like the Boise area, downtown proper. And Timberline looks like they could be the real deal this year.
You have one of the top wide receivers, maybe the top receiver in the state, in Hudson Lewis. He is so fast. It's the type of speed, and I talked about it, that defenses have to game plan around him.
Right.
Because if you play man coverage against him, he'll burn every single defender in this entire state. It doesn't even matter. So when you have a player that's that dynamic, you can line him up anywhere. You can line him up in the backfield. You can line him up as slot receiver. Outside, it doesn't matter. You can hand it off just like we saw Quincy Clay tonight take that end around. I guarantee you they got plays, drawn up for Hudson Lewis to do that as well. Like I said earlier, you can't teach speed, and he is electric. And I feel like down the road when we get to the playoffs maybe, we'll see some of that speed on display.
That being said, there are still some teams, I think, still getting their feet wet. We are still so early in the season.
So early. That's why we don't want to overreact.
Don't hit the panic button.
No,
just the initial observations that we've seen. Eagle also looks very strong. And, man, I wouldn't want to tackle any of those guys out there on offense. Those guys are fast, and they are some big boys. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday night.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, this was awesome. We appreciate it. We'll be back next Friday. I'll be in Colorado Springs covering Air Force, but Austin's going to
solo dolo
here. That's right.
It. We're here.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us here. Have a great Friday night, and we'll see you this weekend.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.